Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be answering your assumptions about me. Now last week I put out a call out on Instagram stories for you guys to tell me what your assumptions are, and I got so many answers from you guys, so thank you to all of you who sent assumptions in. There's a lot of stuff we have to go through on books and writing and like personal lifey stuff that I'm going to be answering today. If ever you guys want to be involved in Q&As or videos like this in the future, please feel free to go and follow me on Instagram. Instagram stories is the easiest place for me to ask questions like this. So yeah, if you ever want to be involved in Q&As in the future, please feel free to check that out. So yeah, pretty much I'm going to be taking your assumptions and telling you whether they're correct or incorrect and elaborating a bit on them. There are quite a lot to get through here, so without further ado, let's just jump into it, and I'm going to be answering your assumptions about me. You get sick of reading sometimes. No, that is not correct. If ever I'm sick of reading a particular book, if I find it boring, I will just go to a different book. You still enjoy reading picture books as an adult? Yes. Every time I go into Dymocks or a bookstore, I have to stop myself from going and buying a whole bunch of picture books. I love them because I love illustration and art, and I love drawing, and the way that that sort of intercedes with writing and storytelling. I think it's just such a beautiful little combination. If there's a genre of books you don't read often / dislike, it's mystery, thriller, horror. I don't read them often, that's true, but I don't dislike them. It's just that I haven't really found anything in those genres that I like or really want to read. I do want to read some more Stephen King, like I've only ever read On Writing by him. If you happen to have any recommendations in the mystery, thriller, horror categories, please let me know. You prefer YA fiction to adult fiction? I do not. I actually much prefer adult fiction generally. You find fantasy worlds more interesting than the real world. Very much true. Fantasy is my favorite genre and it's my favorite thing to write, so yes, I do find like speculative worlds really interesting, and I tend to enjoy them much more than like realistic fiction. Your biggest dream is to publish a book of your own. Monica, yes, very much. That's 100,000,000,000% true. You're too anxious to release your book. No, actually, I wrote a book and I submitted it to a bunch of different places, and the book got rejected from all of them, which is a normal part of the process. I'd much rather have a book be rejected and not be very good and not have it be put out into the world because it wasn't ready yet, rather than having something published that I wouldn't end up being proud of. I got a lot of really amazing feedback from a lot of different agencies, which is good. I'm taking that into the next big writing project that I have. No, I am a pretty anxious person, but I wouldn't let my anxiousness get in the way of something like that. You considered another career path besides writing? Like yes and no, sort of. Okay, so my day job is in digital marketing. I'm a digital marketer. It's not super common for authors and writers to necessarily make a comfortable living off of writing. I think the average yearly income for an author in Australia is like $13,000 a year. Like most authors have day jobs. So yes, I work in digital marketing, but writing has always been there. You had no idea what you wanted to do in college. I have always wanted to do writing, but I wanted to make the smart choice and move into marketing so that I could have, again, a comfortable day job to support me while I was trying to achieve my dream and do all of that stuff. You're a talented writer since a young age. That is a really beautiful compliment wrapped up in that assumption. Thank you. I don't feel that way, but thank you. Well, yeah, kind of. I've always had an aptitude for creative writing. Like when I was in primary school, we used to do these like standardized tests that all the public schools would do, and you would do them every 2 years, and you did like maths and comprehension and a bunch of different stuff. You would be graded based on like these bands, right? So if you were like in the center of this band, then you were sort of at your year level. If you were a band above, then you were like your skills were at the year level above you. If you were 2 bands above, you were at the level that was 2 years above you, right? I used to get pretty good grades in school, but my grade for creative writing, because we always wrote a story for these standardized tests, was off the chart every year. So it was my favorite thing in the world because I knew when I was in primary school that I was good at it. I've always gotten really good grades for creative writing, and I've always sort of known that that was my thing I was good at. You are an academic, you love studying and miss your masters. Oh, 1,000 times yes. Like, I had to make the really difficult decision to stop doing my master's degree and graduate early with a grad dip instead, because I was juggling too many things and it was affecting my mental health and I was getting burnt out and all this stuff. If I had infinite monies and infinite time, then I would go back to university in a heartbeat. I love studying. You are a morning person, you go to bed early-ish. No. Yes, I had a 5 a.m. writing routine and that worked really well for quite a while, but lockdown absolutely ruined it. The thing that sort of works against me is that I struggle to go to bed early because I will be working on something or I'll be reading and I don't want to go to bed. If I get up early, it means I'm generally really tired because I probably didn't go to bed very early the night before. Oh, you don't love YouTube aside from the creative and social platform it provides you with. Interesting. No, that's completely incorrect. I love YouTube and I've been like watching it and spending so much time on this platform since I was like 13. It's probably the social media platform I spend the most time on and also the one I get the most personal value out of. There are so many YouTubers that I love watching and I spend a lot of time watching them. So no, I love this platform. I really enjoy watching content on it and I feel very fortunate that I also get to make content here that people watch. You prefer sweet food over savory? Challenging question. I love all food. I like anything with a lot of carbs in it. So rice or cakes or pasta or like stuff like that. I also love desserts. Really, I love food. You married Harvey in Stardew Valley. I did not. I married Elliot because I thought he was funny. Emily was a close second. A lot of you thought that it was really challenging for me to get angry at people, which I find really funny. You don't show up when you're angry. You look like you would never scream at anyone. It's difficult for you to be angry. Look, I'm the type of person who's going to implode before I explode. Like, I will probably start crying before I start yelling at someone. There are times where I will justifiably get quite frustrated. I'm very bad at hiding my emotions, particularly on my face. So if I'm annoyed at something, you'll probably know because you'll be able to see it. Like, I'm not good at hiding my emotions. But yes, no, I never yell. When I was an English teacher and I had to get kids' attention and they wouldn't pay attention to me, I refused to yell, so I would clap. Then they started mimicking me and they started clapping at me and it didn't work very well, but no, I don't yell. You always give second chances. It's hard for you to say yes to both of those. I'm getting better at it though. As I get older, I'm learning how to value myself more and more and to value my boundaries and to not just say yes to things because I don't want to inconvenience other people. Your sun sign is a Pisces. Yes, I am Pisces. You're an Enneagram 2, ring 1. I don't know what the wing means. I think I'm an Enneagram 3. Your favorite colors are red and yellow. I love yellow. I like this very specific shade of red, and I also really like purple. You are multilingual. My Japanese is not good enough for me to be considered multilingual, but thank you. You're an incredibly poetic person. I'm an incredibly dramatic person. Like, I am very, very, very introspective and I dwell on things a lot. And I like that you've assumed that translates to being poetic. You hate too much noise. Yeah, I kind of do. Like, I was in Sephora yesterday and there was like a baby screaming and there was all this music and then there was someone outside in the mall yelling and there was just so many things going on and I think I get very, very mild like sensory overload to do with sound specifically. It's only if there's a lot of different kinds of sounds from different spots that I can't control. That being said, like, I love live music. I love loud music in that context, but when there's lots and lots of different inputs and some of them are aggressive and I can't control them, that's when I get a bit overwhelmed. You don't really drink alcohol or do any sort of recreational drugs. I don't drink alcohol at all. So the last time I drank alcohol, I was 17 and I made the decision that I didn't want to do that anymore. And also I've never taken drugs. I get terrible nightmares from having codeine. So I feel like if I ever took drugs, it would be a very, very bad thing for my brain. You tend to be hard on yourself, but not towards others. Yeah, I am. To most other people, I'm like, take care of yourself. You're doing great. Like, you're a human being. You're not a robot. You should rest and relax. And then to me, I'm like, why aren't you being productive? And I think a lot of you guys have picked up on that. And that's why I make a lot of the videos like, you don't have to be productive right now and stuff like that, because I'm trying to remind myself that, and I'm trying to explore that ideology that I also don't have to be productive all the time. Oh, and there's a lot about introversion. You are shy and have some level of anxiety. You're an introvert, you like spending more time alone than with other people. I actually did a whole video on this topic, which was called I am an extrovert with social anxiety. When I did the Myers-Briggs test, I was 51% introvert and 49% extrovert. I actually think it's the other way. Like, I think I'm slightly more extroverted than introverted, but it's like right on the edge. So I get really sad if I spend too much time alone. But that being said, I'm very comfortable with specific people. So like, I have my friends and my family who I love very much, but spending time around people who aren't in that group, I find so exhausting. Like, there are times when I'm at like a party or something and I just need to step away because I feel exhausted by being around people because I'm really socially anxious. If you would like to hear more about this topic, please feel free to go watch that video. You are dreamy and don't mind escaping to a different reality. Yes, I have a problem with zoning out quite a bit. I daydream a lot. Yep, I do. You're a romantic person. I'm actually not. Like, I find, like, it's fine for other people, it's fine in movies and stuff like that, but for me personally, I find like romantic stuff really quite cringy. You're a very calm person, you have a beautiful soul and calming energy. That's so lovely. Yes, I think on the outside I'm a calm person. Like, I think I've learned how to, in highly stressful situations, control my tone of voice and speak softly, and I think I'm really good at handling stress now. Internally I'm not calm, I'm quite anxious and a bit of a chaotic mess, but I think because I've worked in really stressful work environments that are very fast paced, there are things going wrong, there's very high expectations and very high pressure. I think that's helped me to become like a really calm person externally. Again, I'm anxious, so being calm internally is something that I am not necessarily all the time. You're very sweet and sensitive, you're really nice, you try to make people smile. Also really lovely for you guys to say. I am of the opinion that you have no idea who is suffering from mental health problems. You have no idea what people are going through. You have no idea what person working at the supermarket or what person you work with in your day job. You don't know what's going on at home or any of that stuff. And I think irrespective of how you feel and irrespective of what you're going through that day, it's really important to be kind to other people and to be polite to other people. That being said, like, I'm a human being, I'm not perfect, but I try really hard to make an effort to be polite and nice to people because you literally have no idea what others are going through. And particularly during like the more challenging parts of my life and the more like darker parts where I've like struggled with like mental health stuff, sometimes it would just take one really nice person to make me feel better about myself. And you know, having a person who was really mean to me at my job would just make me feel the worst. So I think looking after the people around you is important. I think your actions have consequences, and I think that it's really important to try to be kind and nice to people. That being said, you also need to be kind and nice to yourself. You being a doormat for people is not you being kind, and you shouldn't be nice to people to the point where you let them treat you poorly, which is another thing I have had to learn myself. You can be nice and polite and kind while still valuing yourself enough to stand up for yourself when it's reasonable and when it's appropriate. You hate being the center of attention. Yeah, I really fucking hate it. Like, I don't like it, particularly when I'm not expecting it. Like, if I'm in a group situation and all of a sudden everyone is looking at me, then I don't like it. I can do public speaking now. Like, I can be performative in that way, and I can project my voice and I can pretend to be confident. Certain contexts it's fine, but generally, yes, I don't like it. You're hoping to move back to Japan one day, you wish you could move back, you miss living in Japan. Yeah, like constantly. I miss it so much, and honestly, I try not to whinge about this too much because I'm cognizant of the fact that, you know, I live in Australia, and with everything that's going on in the world right now, I am so lucky, right? Like, we can go to the movies here, we can go to live music here. Life is pretty much back to normal for us at the moment, touch wood. But I miss travel so much, and I miss Japan constantly. Like, it gets me really down sometimes because feel kind of trapped here because like there's no holidays to look forward to. There's nothing. Again, I'm aware that like I'm in a really privileged position because I live in Australia and a lot of people have it a lot worse. But yes, one of the things that's been really challenging about this time for me is that I desperately miss Japan, and I would love to live there again. Just because you want something though doesn't mean it's realistic or necessarily going to happen. At the moment, both my partner and I have careers here, like we have good stable jobs here, and it's sadly not something that's probably going to happen anytime soon. But yes, at some point I would love to live in Japan again. I want to be fluent in Japanese. I want to go back there all the time for holidays. Yes. You wish you were Japanese. There's a lot to unpack with that assumption. No. The answer is very firmly no. A lot of conversations we could have around tokenism and ethnocentrism and things like that. No, I don't wish I was Japanese. I'm perfectly content with me being the way that I am. I just have spent a really long time learning Japanese. I started learning it when I was 5 because they forced us to learn it in school, and I really love the country, but the answer to that is a very strong no. This is a really interesting part to being super interested in Japan and to loving Tokyo, is that Japan is one of those countries that gets really romanticized by certain groups of people to the point where they don't see the nuances and they can't see the flaws, and it's really quite problematic. I am not in that camp of people. Japan is flawed, Australia is flawed, every country is flawed. You can still enjoy a place and see its flaws and not want to be of that ethnicity. You have been with your partner for ages. Yes, I have. We've been together for a very long time. I'm very fortunate because he is my best friend. He is the best person in the world. He makes me very happy. You and your partner have very similar interests. Yes, we do. We have very similar tastes in a lot of things. And I think also if you're with a person for a really long time, sometimes you will like develop interests together. We spend a lot of time playing board games and video games. We both love traveling. There's so many crossovers here. We do differ kind of in our tastes of music and movies and stuff like that, but yes, it's convenient because we both like a lot of the same things. Not ready to have kids, you don't want kids, you want to have kids. I am 24 years old and I feel like I'm too young to be thinking about any of these things. You're married. No, I'm not. You're a tea over coffee person, you're a coffee addict. I really like coffee, I really like the taste of it. I can't drink too much of it though because my hands start shaking. The maximum I could drink is probably like 1 coffee in a day. If I had to choose between them, I would definitely pick tea. I drink heaps and heaps of tea, but I do like both of them. You really want a pet? Yes, I would love to have a dog or a cat, but it's just, I'm not there yet in my life to have that level of responsibility. And also having a dog or a cat really ties you down. Like it makes it a lot harder if you want to move overseas and all this kind of stuff. So I would love to have a pet, but I don't have any intention to get a pet anytime soon. You love cats, you're more of a cat person than a dog person. You are a cat person. Okay, challenging question. So I love all pets. I love little fluffy animals and I want them all to love me and I want to cuddle them all the time. If I'm going to someone's house and they have a cat or a dog, it's like the best day of my life. I want a cat and a dog. I've grown up with cats and dogs. If I had to choose one though, like if I had to just pick a cat or a dog to have, I'd probably pick a dog, to be honest. Like I've just grown up around dogs a lot more. I've had a lot more dogs in my life. I've had more experience with dogs. Yes, yeah, look, I love them both though. I really want a cat and a dog one day, but that is like very far away. Okay, and that's the maximum I think I'm going to be able to get to today. Thank you guys so very much for watching. Again, if ever you want to participate in videos like this and you want to like jump in on our Q&As, please feel free to go and follow me on Instagram. Instagram stories is the place where I will do call outs for stuff like this. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Take care guys, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.